So, guys, welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure. That's Pa, but not Grandpa. Today I have with me Gio from Gio in the Philippines.
Hello.
And today's topic is going to be how to avoid disaster in the Philippines. So, how to avoid disaster in the Philippines? Some people, when they come here, don't really plan for the issues that can happen here in the Philippines.
Yep.
What do you consider some of the issues that people don't plan for, that they should be planning for, that can cause disaster, havoc, issues here in the Philippines?
I think financial's got to be number one. Not a nest egg to fall back on, or enough ways to access money. Like maybe 3 credit cards or 2 banks, or a way to do cash remittance, wire money to yourself. No matter how many times I've told people multiple ways, it's like I hear the same thing.
I think finances is very important. You got to have, I used to say 20K, I say 25, 30K in reserve.
Yeah.
And you got to have a pension at least, for me, $2,000 when you move here. Now, why I say 30,000 or more, because you might come here and you might not enjoy living here and decide to go back to the West, and reestablishing yourself, buying a car, renting a place, deposits and all that, can be very expensive, right? So you have to have some money in the background in case you don't like it, disaster happens, whatever.
Yeah.
So too many people come here with no reserves whatsoever, and some get in trouble.
Absolutely.
The other aspect, I think, I've talked about this before, is healthcare, or lack of planning for healthcare. That could be medicines that you get cheaply in the US that you have a hard time finding here, or are very expensive here. That could be lack of insurance when you come here.
Yeah.
And lack of understanding the way healthcare works here. I think that's another big issue.
Right.
And I know I'm at fault there because I didn't plan for that. Now, I'm lucky because nothing really bad happens. But something bad could have easily happened, as have some of my expat friends.
Yeah.
It's cost them a lot of money. And going back to the West, getting everything redone, cost them also a lot of money and pain and time.
Right.
So what, can you say anything about that? Or I know you have a health insurance company that you work with. What was the name of that again?
Well, 2. I mean, either I think if you're coming short term, you should do some travel medical, safety wing, or 2, you can sign up for like Pacific Blue Cross, I think. If you're going to be here long term, you are, then it's either that or you have to self-insure. You got to have a big enough
now, one
emergency
thing
fund.
I'm not aware of, or I don't have an understanding of, but I've kind of done a bit of research, is like if you do have insurance, some of these hospitals accept certain insurances, right? Straight away. So if you have a card and something happens, it's much easier to go in than if you're paying cash with credit card and all that. Is that true?
I think so, yeah, that they will see, oh, okay, he's got this insurance. We deal directly with them, so no problem.
All the information on an insurance card and everything.
Right.
So just go straight in.
So
no issues.
That helps a lot, yeah.
The amount of time wasted in an emergency will be less if you have insurance. So that's kind of important part of it too.
For sure.
So any other things that you can think of that can create a disaster, havoc when you come to the Philippines?
Rushing relationships, like guys who have only chatted and they've never actually physically met her, but they move here and they instantly move in together. I'm like, things like that.
Like I said, one of the reasons people get in trouble, they don't do the research, right?
Right.
I mean, how many times have we said on our vlogs, and other people have said, take it slow when you come to the Philippines. And then you'll see someone in the comments, well, I've chatted with this Filipina for 3 years or 2 years or 1 year, and I'm going over there next month to get married. And you're thinking, like, don't these guys learn? I mean, it's amazing to me, like the mistakes people make over and over again.
Right.
Like, they learn nothing. I've given this example. My neighbor bought a house in a girl's name who he had known for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I warned him against it. They still went and bought the house. He's like 70 plus and she's in her 30s.
Right.
And I'm like, this can go really wrong. I mean, I saw them together.
Yeah.
I saw how really disinterested she was in him. But still, he did it. And it's like, people have to really make decisions before they.
Yeah.
My thing is like, make a list of things you're not going to do when you come here and things you're going to do and stick to that list.
Yeah.
Don't let
Good
yourself get caught up in the moments or in the emotions.
Yeah. I would piggyback on that and say it's okay. Relationship mistakes happen all the time, but it's a different thing when you add the money into it, like guys who made a relationship mistake and bought her a house, or you know what I mean. If you make a relationship mistake, you can get out of it, but when you bought a house or things like that, then that's a huge loss of financial.
Yeah, but it's also, even if you buy a house, okay, with her, and you have a special agreement through a lawyer or whatever, try kicking her out of that house when her name is on the deed. It's not going to happen.
No.
And her brothers and sisters and cousins, they're all going to move in, and you're going to be the one booted out.
Right. And legally, they have the right to that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So relationships can be an issue if you don't take it slow here. Obviously, like we said, there are many good Filipinos here, but sometimes you have to go through many bad ones to find the good ones.
Yeah.
And sometimes also you think it's a good Filipina, but she's just holding back till she gets what she wants.
Playing the long game.
You're playing the long game, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I also say, 100 chats online is worth one in-person meeting. I mean, you get to know.
You have a feeling straight away.
Yeah, you can read somebody much better.
The way they look at you, it's so easy to fake it online and smile and everything because you're not there. When a person is there, it's much harder to fake something.
Absolutely.
Because emotions come into play, your facial expressions, you don't really like that person, it's hard to pretend.
Yeah, it's hard to. Online, you can fake it easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say fake it till you make it.
Yeah, that's right.
The other thing I would say people are not aware of, and this is important for me, it might not be so important for other people, is, and I wasn't aware of this when I came to the Philippines, is a lack of diversity when it comes to food, and especially healthy options.
Yes.
What's your take on that?
Oh, I mean, just coming back from a trip from Malaysia, it's amazing. I could order fresh salad with like smoked salmon and avocado, and you just don't get all those options here.
Yeah.
I like going to a restaurant there and get a menu of a whole section of just different salads.
And in the salads, they have so much more. They'll have bell peppers, they'll have pepperonis, and all this other things. Here they'll have carrots, onions, and lettuce.
The same things.
And tomatoes. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very hard to find like really good healthy food here sometimes.
It is. It really is.
People think, there's so many fresh vegetables, but no, it's kind of the same stuff. It's not a wide variety.
No. Really. Now the fruits that are here, they're plucked fresh for the most part, so they're pretty good. But again, it's a lack of variety here.
Yeah.
Like all the oranges here are imported from China. There's no oranges from Spain or from Florida.
Yeah.
There's no, all the apples, or most of the apples are from China.
Yes.
There's very little apples from Europe or US or South America. So it's not that variety of different types of fruits here as there is in, for example, Spain, Kenya, the US, even Saudi Arabia. I was amazed by the variety of food. Right. Here it's not that. So if you're a foodie, this is really not the place to be.
Yeah, I struggle sometimes. I mean, really, the best food comes from my own kitchen most of the time. Yeah. I just go get the ingredients and cook.
Yeah, make your own hummus, make your own food. Yeah, it's the same. Like when I've been abroad, like when I go to Malaysia, for example, Thailand, and I come back here, I think that makes me most depressed is the food.
Yeah, it really does. I just enjoy cooking at my own house, making a meal because
Yeah.
it's, but I like the option of like in Malaysia and stuff, going out and just finding, for example, I was finding fresh blueberries and strawberries and raspberries in like a yogurt with granola. And yeah, here I ordered a blueberry yogurt and you could tell they were just like freeze dried or they were either frozen or
Yeah.
whatever. They just weren't the same. So.
Yeah. Any other advice you could give people to avoid uh, being shocked when they come here, or disasters, or
I get this from Rika. Rika actually says, don't make any long-term commitments within your first 6 months or a year here. And I kind of agree with that. Don't do these long-term leases. Don't buy a car. Don't go into buying a condo. And
because in the beginning you have these rose-colored glasses.
Right.
I remember when I first came, everything was fantastic. There was no wrong here, man.
Right,
So,
yeah.
but after a while, you
Everything
start
was
seeing
perfect.
things that irritate you, right? So,
Yep. I guess one last thing, I've made the mistake myself, but I think it's better to choose the location and then find the girl. Like,
yeah,
don't move to a location just because of a girl, because you might end up like loving her but being miserable in that location, and she wants to be near her family. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's in that situation.
Right.
The other thing, which is not a disaster, but it can affect the way you perceive the Philippines, I would say, is the trash situation.
Yes.
They are not here, and I mean, this is just the truth. They are not as aware of. I mean, you'll be driving behind a jeepney and you'll just see somebody throw, a plastic bottle on the street, or a trash can, or a plastic full of trash on the streets. You go to the beaches, many beaches, you'll see plastic floating in the water. You don't see it on a lot of vlogs because, they're filming from a distance. You're not in the water, so you don't see the plastic floating by. So some beaches, there's a lot of trash on the beach.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware. There are some clean beaches, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware that there is that here in the Philippines. Even walking in the jungle, sometimes I'll see trash.
Yeah.
And it takes away from the beauty of the Philippines. And it kind of actually pisses me off when I see people trashing their own country.
Oh, yeah. Because it's such a beautiful country.
Yeah.
The waterfalls, the beaches, everything.
Yeah.
Real quick, I was in country literally 2 days, like almost 9 years ago now. And I was with a Filipino. We're in the back of a taxi. We just finished eating McDonald's. And she goes, "Oh, let me get your trash." And she got it. She dumps it all into the McDonald's bag. I'm like, oh, nice. She's gathering it all. And then she rolls down the window, tosses the whole thing out on the street. And I was like,
and this is in Cebu.
This was in Cebu. And I was like, don't ever do that again. And she was like mystified why I would be upset about taking a whole bag of trash and tossing it out. I was like, do you like living in trash? Do you throw your trash on the ground in your house?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you want to do that to your own?
It's almost like they haven't thought about it.
This is your city, your country. You don't do that.
Yeah, I'll get these comments all the time. Well, if you don't like the Philippines, go home. You're the one who doesn't like the Philippines. You're the one trashing your own country.
I think it's a beautiful country, and what I'm trying to do is keep it that way.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, it is beautiful. And they have beautiful beaches,
right?
Beautiful nature, corals. Why would you want to throw plastic everywhere?
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, I didn't mean to preach, but that's one of the things that irritate me when I see people throwing trash in their own country. It's kind of And when I see foreigners do that, I fume because this is not your country. Yeah. So anyway, with that, I think I'm going to finish it up. And thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And
no problem.
I'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Cheers.